Buongiorno and welcome to Anna's Kitchen. And this is my second segment, but before I get started with cooking, I want to tell you a little something about me. I'm on a program and I've lost 50 pounds, and I've learned how to eat healthy by cooking healthy. Thank God for this program. So I'm going to dedicate this to the person that started me with the program, Lisa, Matt. This goes out to you today. Thank you so much. Without you, I couldn't have done it. So I appreciate it. And this is also to my 365 group. At the end of each segment, I'm going to tell you a little bit about condiments and fats. And if you don't understand it, it's because it's related to the 365 group. So I'm going to put that in at the end of each recipe, okay? So let's get started today. And my first thing is green beans, which I've already put together, so I'm just going to tell you how to do it. First of all, you're going to steam your green beans till it's soft enough to where al dente, where you like it. Then you're going to put in a half a teaspoon of kosher salt. I always use kosher salt. A half a teaspoon of garlic powder. A half a tablespoon of parsley. I use dried parsley. A tablespoon of olive oil. And a quarter of a cup of white vinegar. Wine vinegar, I'm sorry. I use the Progresso wine vinegar. And this is what you end up with. You take it after your green beans are steamed, and you just mix all the ingredients together and put it in a nice dish, put it in the fridge. You could serve it warm or you could serve it cold, up to you. This has a total of 6.5 servings. And we have 5.5 condiments in it, 3 fats, and that's what you end up with. A half a cup a serving is 1 serving. So if you wanted to have 2 vegetables, you'd go into having 1 cup. So that's it for this. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to be making a zucchini, summer squash, and mushroom medley. This is one of my own recipes. So if you'll come over here with me, next to the stove, and we'll start this process. I have now taken 1.5 cups of summer squash, 3 cups of zucchini, sliced it about a half an inch to an inch thick. You don't want it too thin, otherwise it'll get too mushy. So about that thickness, okay? You're then going to put in your frying pan. I'm going to put olive oil. We have 1 tablespoon of olive oil, a quarter of a teaspoon of sun-dried tomatoes, which I buy in a tube, and a half of a teaspoon of anchovy paste, which is also in a tube, and 1 teaspoon of minced garlic. I'm going to turn this on now, and we're going to saute all that together first. And just kind of toss it around, mix it up. You don't want your garlic to burn, so don't leave it in that long. Probably about a minute or so on medium heat. Okay, from there, we're going to put in, once that's done, we're going to add in the zucchini and the summer squash because it takes a little while for that to soften. So let's just give this a quick stir. I'm going to turn it up a little bit so that we can move along with this. After this is done, we're going to go into one of my grilled vegetable medleys, which I absolutely love. And you end up putting everything together, the vegetables, the seasonings, everything. And then we let it marinate overnight. So I mix it up in a bowl. I'll show you how to do all that. You cover it with foil and you put it in your fridge until the next day. The next day, you'll end up cooking it at 425, 15 minutes. You'll toss it around a little bit. Do it for another 15 minutes, okay? So let's get started with this. This looks like it's pretty good. I'm gonna add in my squash, my zucchini, and my summer squash. It's 1.5 cups of summer squash, 3 cups of sliced zucchini, and 1/4 teaspoon of chopped mushrooms. I don't put the mushrooms in until the squash has softened. So let's coat the squash really, really well, because you want to get a nice glow to your vegetable. I happen to like color, so you'll see that in a lot of my recipes. Love to have my vegetables with color. It makes everything look appetizing and yummy. Okay, so we're gonna let that cook. While that's cooking, we're gonna go over here, and I'm gonna just go over here and grab my pan of my vegetables that we'll be grilling. I don't grill them on a grill. I put them in the oven, but they come out just like grilled vegetables. In here we have mushrooms, zucchini, and summer squash, and peppers. You're gonna slice your squash up, cut your bella mushrooms in half, and you're gonna slice peppers, which I have orange, yellow, and red pepper. Like I said, I like color. And about this thickness. Okay. In here we have one orange pepper sliced, one red pepper sliced, and one yellow pepper sliced. We have an 8-ounce package of bella mushrooms, 2 zucchini or 1 large one, 2 small summer squash or 1 large one. On the seasonings, which is in here, we have, before I tell you that, let's go over here and just check my, we don't want this to burn, so I'm going to put it on medium heat. Make sure it's tossed a little bit. This looks like it's coming down pretty good. Okay, we'll let that cook. In the seasonings, we have 1/2 teaspoon of oregano. We have 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of Italian seasoning, 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1/4 teaspoon of ground pepper, black pepper, and 1.5 teaspoons of thyme. I use all dry for today. You could get fresh if you want to, which you would use a little bit more of the fresh. A tablespoon of parsley, and we're going to put 3 teaspoons of olive oil. So these are all the seasonings that I've put in a bowl that I told you. It's all mixed together, and we're just going to sprinkle that all around the vegetables. And then we're going to add the 3 teaspoons, which I did not measure out. I'm going to go over here and get a teaspoon. So you could do 3 teaspoons or 1 tablespoon, equivalent to the same thing. We're going to measure out 1 tablespoon. And I'm just going to pour it all around. And then I'm going to toss it really well You want to make sure everything is coated with the oil because that's what's going to make it really nice and crispy, okay? If you find not enough oil and you want to keep it low and healthy, you could spray it with Pam olive oil or avocado oil in the can. Do the same thing. Just toss it really, really well. I'm going to get that olive oil in the can. I do feel it needs a little bit more, but I don't want to add more calories. So we're just going to take it and spray a little bit on it and then toss it really well. That's important to make sure everything is coated really well. And then we're just going to put on foil. And you're going to stick this in the fridge till tomorrow. A lot of times I do all my things in the morning, so that way you have the whole afternoon free. So this will go out in the refrigerator. It's ready to go. Now I'm going to go back over here, if you'll follow me, to my squash. And this looks like it's getting pretty good. I'm going to add my seasonings. So my dry seasonings was the Italian seasoning, 1 teaspoon, and 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder. We're going to just sprinkle it all around. It's a very easy recipe. And we're going to coat. Make sure you coat everything really, really well. And then just cook it until you get it down to the consistency that you like. I happen to like mine soft, not hard, so I'm going to leave it in here. And that will be it. And then we will put it in a nice dish to serve. And that's the end of this segment. I thank you for tuning in. Oh, I forgot to add the mushrooms. We want to add those mushrooms. Those cook down really quickly, so you don't want to put them in the beginning, otherwise they'll be too mushy. And I just happen to have chopped ones in the refrigerator on hand, so I'm just using that up. But if you have sliced mushrooms, perfectly fine. You just want to make sure you measure it and get 1/4 of a cup of the mushrooms, okay? And then this serving would be 0.26 condiments, 1/16 fat was used, and you get 9.5 servings. A serving of vegetables are 1/2 cup. If you want, you could double it up and have 1 cup. Throughout the day on your plate, you should have your protein, 3 servings of greens, and of course your fat and all your condiments are added in. So here we have what's looking pretty good, as you could see. I just want to make sure it's soft enough, so I just keep tossing it. So cook it down to your desired tenderness. We'll put it in a nice looking dish, and that'll be the end of this segment. We will go into another day of doing protein. I know I did a lot of vegetables so far in these 2 segments I've done. The reason is because I'm a vegetable nut. I do like protein and I like fish. So on the next segment, we will be doing protein, fish, chicken, and something else maybe. That's it for now. Thank you for tuning in, and ciao. Have a good day.